Hey there, I'm your host, the Bread Pirate, and today we're going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and how durability in that game could be improved for the sequel. Remember, I respond to every single comment, whether that's an email, Discord, or in the YouTube comment section. It's usually in the YouTube comment section. Yes, so without further ado, let's begin. So let's start off by saying durability in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was not perfect. If you liked the durability system, then power to you, but a lot of us didn't. Back in 2017, there was a poll created on the GameFAQs forums, which said, do you like breaking weapons in Breath of the Wild? Do you think it's a good system? Out of the 2,296 votes that were cast, 48% of the people said, yes, it's a good idea, and 51% said that they didn't like the mechanic. I don't know about you, but if 50% of the people playing your game think that a certain mechanic is not fun, then you probably should do something to fix it. Thankfully, that's what we're going to be doing here today. And our first suggestion is one which is rather simple, and I think Nintendo could implement it very easily in Breath of the Wild 2. And I know this for a fact because the modding community has already done this exact thing. Multiplying durability. The way that this would work is you would take all the weapon durability numbers that exist in the game, and you would consistently multiply all of them by a number like ×2, ×3, or ×4. And obviously, that means that your weapon would last ×2, ×3, or ×4 longer. Back when Nintendo first announced the game, they said that you could spend 500 hours playing Breath of the Wild. If that's an accurate number, then how come the weapons break so fast? I don't think it's too much to ask for that out of our 500 hours, we have weapons that last a little bit longer than a minute. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a fair trade-off. The second suggestion that I'd like to make for Breath of the Wild 2 has to do with the basic elements of what a Zelda game is. At its core, all Zelda games have item progression. What this means is that as you collect more items, you become more powerful, and you're able to access new areas, defeat new enemies, unlock new side quests, and so on and so forth. Breath of the Wild kind of abandons this system though, because it has items that, yes, will make you more powerful, but only temporarily. At its core, weapons, bows, shields, all of them in Breath of the Wild are considered consumables because they go away so fast. The satisfaction of getting a hookshot or a bow and arrow that would have infinite durability no longer exists. So here's my solution for that. Keep the rest of the items the way they are, but add legendary tier items, which when you acquire them have absurd amounts of durability. A good example of a weapon that would fall into this category are the champion's weapons, like the spear from Mifa or the Rito bow, that thing. These weapons are really hard to get, and the fact that they have such mediocre durability is a crying shame. But that shouldn't be the only way of getting legendary weapons. I think that side quests should become a way of getting these legendary weapons as well, or going through mini dungeons that have really difficult enemies and obstacles on the way to this legendary weapon. I'm not saying that these weapons need to have infinite durability, but I am saying they gotta have more durability than the Woodcutter's Axe, which currently has more durability than the Royal Claymore, and it doesn't make sense! When I talk about durability in Breath of the Wild with other people, or when I look through threads and forums and discords about this topic, this always comes up. Blacksmiths. People want to repair their weapons, and that just makes sense. Every other video game out there that has durability includes a system for repairing your weapons. This is not a crazy idea. That's not to say everyone thinks blacksmiths are a good idea though. I have heard the argument that if we were to add blacksmiths into towns and stables in Breath of the Wild, then people would constantly feel like they have to repair their weapons while they're out adventuring. And Breath of the Wild is a game which is supposed to encourage you to be adventuring, so any interruption in your adventures is inherently a bad thing. I don't think this is a problem though. More than likely, if you want to repair your weapon, Nintendo will add a system where you need to collect resources to repair your weapon, whether that's minerals or wood or some other random monster part, and those things would go towards making your weapon brand spanking new. That means you need to explore to get the resources, so there is more exploration encouraged, not less. I don't think weapon repairing should be an easy task, however. I think that it should be really difficult. Maybe it requires a star fragment, or it requires a lot of minerals. That way, when you repair a weapon, it becomes a bit of an adventure, it becomes a bit of an endeavor to try and do it, and also it makes sure that you don't become too overly attached to a weapon and stop using everything else in your arsenal. Obviously, that's a bit of a hot take, but I'm sure you guys have differing opinions and suggestions on how this could be fixed, which you could yell at me about in the comments section below. Overall, there are a lot of different options we have for improving durability in the sequel. Nintendo just has to be a little bit creative, and we can have a system of durability that makes 90% of the people happy, rather than 50%. Remember, I respond to every comment. So, until I see you next time, have fun storming the castle.